But yeah, so it started off when I was like 2 years old, and you know, I was living a normal, I guess I'd say a normal lifetime and stuff like that. You know, it was just like, dang, I don't even know how to say this. Like, okay, it was just like, okay, so I was 2.5 years old. My sister was, I think she was 1. I had a brother that wasn't even born yet. I had a brother that was 13 by the time I was like 5. I have 11 siblings, so it's just hard to tell each one story. I'm just gonna tell mine. Point being is, I was 2, and you know, I wasn't as good. I was in elementary school, and I was always going to school, you know, and being bad. And my mom was like, why are you going to school and acting up? You're not a problem child at home. I mean, you're a good child. Like, I don't know why you go to school and you do this stuff. And I couldn't explain to my mom the reason why. You know, I was just young, and you know, kids do, I wouldn't say kids do anything, but kids don't have their right mind at 2. I'd say probably about the age of 3, they start developing a mindset where they can learn things and stuff like that. But you know, I was going to school, acting up, stuff like that. You know, I was going home, you know, I tell my mom about it. My mom was like, she's not a problem child, you know. She's a good kid, you know. I was never, you know, bad at home. I was good. I did everything my mama asked me to. So by the time I hit my age of 3, you know, I was still not bad in school, but doing good in school, and I was, you know, okay in school. I wasn't, wasn't that good in school, but I was good. I was telling my teachers that I didn't care about the money they made. I just wanted to be here for my education, and I thought education was something important. I was so dumb. I was so stupid. I didn't know anything. I was in pre-K, just drawing on walls and just creating stuff, and you know, I liked to draw. I was 3 years old, and I drew my first flower, and it wasn't good as a flower. It was just like a flower, you know. I felt proud of myself because I did something. So later on down my 3-year-old career life, you know, things started falling apart, you know. At home, I realized that my mom didn't have enough money. We lived in apartments. We lived in Walterboro, the Village apartments, and you know, I started realizing that my mom didn't have it as good. You know, she was raising 4 kids on top of, you know, a kid that's about to be 14 years old. And so, you know, I realized one day when I went home, all the lights were off in the house, and my mom would have candles everywhere. And I specifically remember asking my mom, why are all the lights off? And she told me, she said, sweetheart, I don't have enough money to pay the light bill. You know, the light bill costs too much. I don't want to have to ever rely on nobody or depend on nobody to pay my own stuff when I can do it my own self. And I didn't fault her for it, but I still didn't understand what she meant by it. So it came to that time, there was no water either, so we were stocking up, saving on stuff that, you know, where we went on, you know, we eat it off the same thing. You know, it was kind of crucial because we didn't have enough, you know. So the next day I went to school, and you know, I acted like everything normal. I was hurting at the same time because I wanted to do something to help my mom, you know. I wanted to help her get her lights back on, you know. So I went to school, and it was like, I don't know, I think it was like, I say maybe about like 12 o'clock that afternoon. And my teacher specifically asked me, she said, why are you so quiet today? And I said, I don't know, I guess because I don't know. I just didn't know what to say to her. Like, I didn't want to tell my situation to my teacher. You know, I didn't want to tell her that my mom couldn't pay her light bill. So I just left it at that. I left it alone. Went home that afternoon, you know, came home and my mom was crying. I said, Mom, why are you crying? And, you know, it was so much. She was like, sweetheart, I'm going through so much stuff at a time, you know. I was like, how is this possible for a 3-year-old to even remember? You know, how can a 3-year-old have feelings and feel someone else's pain? You know, I couldn't understand that. I didn't know how to do that. So I didn't know how to experience a 3-year-old mother's pain, you know. So I kind of felt bad. So I kept talking to my mom and to try to dig deeper into her story, you know. Turns to find out she didn't have it as good. So by the time my 4th birthday hit, I was going to school and, you know, I was getting ready. Things got a lot worse and started to fall apart a lot more than it was 3. 4, I'd say we had to eat the same meals over and over again, something that she cooked 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, you know, stuff like that, because we had not enough money to pay the light bill, not only the light bill, the water bill, not only the water bill, but we had not enough money to get food. So we were just like eating leftover scraps of pieces that she saved up. You know, even though she was out working late, you know, in the middle of the night and stuff like that, she was always coming home trying to work hard in the kitchen and make us a hot plate and make us some food and make us something to keep in our bellies. You know, she was trying hard not to get taken us away. Well, that didn't work out too well because I got taken away from her by the time I was 4. You know, I didn't get a chance to stay. You know, I wanted to stay, but I didn't. You know, my mom started abusing me, started beating on me, started taking her anger out on us. You know, it was one time my mom, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I was so young and I put a smiley face in my agenda from when I was younger, and it was a big smiley face though, but it was like one smiley faces with the big ass big mouth. And I went home and my mom said, "Who put this smiley face there?" And I was so hesitant. I did not want to tell. Like, I was so scared that I was going to get a whipping or I was going to get in trouble. I was like, the teacher did it. So mom sat me down. She was like, "Sweetheart, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to spank you." But I didn't believe her. I did not believe her. I still continued to sit down and, you know, lie to her. So I didn't tell her the truth. I didn't tell her what I was going through. I just was like, the teacher did it. You know? No matter how hard she's trying to get the truth out of me, I told her the teacher did it, you know? And it was like, wow, like the teacher did it. So my mom sat me down in the chair, and again after that, and faced me towards the TV. It was like with like an angry face towards the TV. Like, she like jerked my body to make me look directly at the TV and was like, "Don't move." I said, okay, you know, I didn't want to be defiant, you know. Mom told me she was gonna whoop me, so I was scared, you know. Those things hurt. Those things hurt. I ain't gonna lie. Those things hurted so bad. She told me she was gonna whoop me, so she forgot. I don't think she forgot. I think she just was trying to, you know, be lenient with me, like let me up for this time, you know, let me off with a little, you know, but don't do it again. So after that, so she was like, "Oh, you know what? It's okay for you." I was telling my mama that. I was like, "Mama, I know, I understand that I lie sometimes, but I lie because the truth is too hard to tell." And I told her that, and I sat her down, you know. It was like, I just didn't know what I was going through, and, you know, I knew my mom was going through a lot, and so I felt like as though if we lied to her, it was going to get harder on us, you know. So it wasn't going to get harder on us, but you know, that's what we had to do most of the time. We had to lie to, you know, tell the truth and stuff like that. So it was difficult. So still doing my 4th year of my age, you know. I started going to school, and my mom got calls from the teacher, and they was like, "You have such a wonderful daughter, like she's so sweet and so adorable and da da da." And my mom was like, kept telling them, "Y'all say that now, but wait till y'all piss her off. Y'all gonna see a different side of her. Wait till she's a problem child." No, she don't have no problems, you know. I mean, they wouldn't listen to my mom. They my mom was telling them, hey, she got a problem now. She's mentally crazy in the head. And I didn't want her to have to, you know, say it like that, but she said it like that, you know, she's mental, like, something is wrong with that child. And I'm trying to tell y'all that I need help with her. Because if I don't get help, I'm scared she might go out and kill someone. And I was like, you know, I told mom at the age of 4, I'm not going to kill nobody. You know, of course I didn't know what killing was, you know. That was none of it, because we was watching cartoons, you know, Boondocks and Boomerang and Scooby-Doo and crap like that. Scooby-Doo was my favorite cartoon and shit. I had the Scooby-Doo umbrella, the Scooby-Doo, I had the Scooby-Doo everything, like Scooby-Doo bed set, the pillow, the toothbrush, the toothpaste, everything was Scooby-Doo. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Scooby-Doo. I can name all the characters. Anyways, besides the point, you know. So, you know, they kept getting calls like, she's a good student, you know. I started straightening up in school, you know. I wasn't acting up, because it wasn't really that much of I was acting up. It was just like you know, me not wanting to listen, you know. I didn't do my work correctly, or they'll tell me that 1 + 1 = 2, and I'd be like, no, 1 + 1 = 3, you know. And it was like, well, she has a comprehension problem, you know. That was the only type of the thing I had in school, but I was okay, you know, other than that. So, I got taken away from her when I was like 4, put into my first foster care, you know, group home, first foster care, what Harvey said, I'm gonna get to that point in a minute, but, you know, I was always acting up and stuff like that, and I was always, you know, not unsure of my life or how my life would go. I was always getting beatings left to right, and, you know, she was living at home with my stepdad, and he was overweight and obesity, so he was like this huge giant in my house looking like a freaking Barney. Literally, he looked like a freaking Barney, and I was so terrified of it. When I was little, I told my mama no, like I'd start crying if she turned on Barney, because I was so terrified it was going to jump out the TV at me and get me and, you know, take me away. And that's how terrified I was. It was because my stepdad was so freaking huge and so big, it was, you know, terrifying. So, add to the fact being that, you know, my mama started leaving all her kids home with my stepdad, and you know, he kind of was like, you know, you know, he had a problem with us. I didn't really think that, you know, I did something bad or anything like that, but like, it was like I knew he had a problem. Because when my mama left home, every single time she left home, he was always looking at us and yelling at us, and was like, me and my sister, we shared the same room. You know, we shared the same bed. You know, we had this little small TV. The bed was right here. The window was right there. And our dresser was slanted right here. And then the TV was like right here. It was like a little small TV. It was about the size of, like, I'd say, about the size of this bag, but a little bit bigger. You know, we was watching cartoon. We had a little bit, but like DVDs and stuff like that. So we was watching TV one day, and my mom took me to the shower before she went to work. It was like I guess it was like on a Saturday or a Sunday, but like she took me to get a shower before she went to work. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't want you to leave, you know, you know. So after the fact, I took a shower, got washed up, you know, was, you know, washing with Dove soap. And my stepdad walked in on us and was like, oh, my bad, because there was a door that connected to my mom's room, to my room, to the bathroom door, to my mom's room. So it was the bathroom door right here, and then you could walk in, and the tub was right there, and then you can walk out, and my dad and mom's room was right there. Getting to the point. So we got left home with him, and Mom told me before she left, keep the bathroom light on. So I did as I was told. I listened. You know, I kept the bathroom light on. I didn't turn it off. Well, my stepdad came in the room, turned off our TV, slammed the TV on the floor, and was like, "Get up." And I looked at my sister. My sister looked at me and was like, "Should we do it? Like we're scared. Like, we don't know." Like, he was big and he was scary looking. So we got up, and you know, he was like, No, he picked me first, and he was like, you get up. I was like, what's going on? You know, I'm only 4 years old. I don't know. Like, you gotta help me. You know, he told me to go turn the bathroom light on. And my exact words, well, I'm not trying to be defiant, Dad, but Mom told me to keep the bathroom light on. Well, he was like, well, I said turn it off. I was like, but I'm gonna get a beating when Mom gets home because she told me to keep the light on. Well, what did I say? So I rushed to the bathroom slowly, you know. He's standing in the doorway. I get halfway to the bathroom and all I feel is a big shoe print in the back of my back. Like, it goes like in the middle of the back of my head and the half of my back. And he pushes me down. It's like, don't ever have to give me a problem with you or matters will get worse, you know? So I got up, I brushed myself off, I was crying and, you know, everything, because it hurted, you know? I've never had nobody push me in my back with a big shoe print or who has a big feet, you know? So I turned the light off and I come back out the bathroom and he pushed me down again. This time I already had hit the side of my face and I had like a little gash right there on the side of my face. And so I didn't tell my mom about it. My mom, he actually sat down and told my mom that in the kitchen that I had something on my back. So me and my sister was in my room, you know, playing, you know, having fun. Mom called me. I snuck downstairs, you know. I went in front of my mom. I was like, ma'am. She was like, did he push you down the stairs? And I looked at him and I was like so scared to tell the truth again. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's just best. Yeah, he did, Mom. He pushed me downstairs. He was like, no, I didn't. Why are you lying? She was like, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Did he push you downstairs? And I was like, yeah, yes, Mama, he did. He did push me downstairs. And so she was like, okay, I believe you. She was like, well, let's ask her sister then. Since her sister knows and stuff like that, she brought my little sister downstairs, and my little sister was like, yeah, you know, she was the snitch of the house. She was, yeah, he did it. Yeah, Mama, I saw him. She tried to keep the light on and da-da-da-da-da. And honestly, she was the snitch of the house. She didn't care who she was telling on. All she knew is she didn't want to get in trouble, so she saved her life. That's all it is. She saved her life. She did not want to get in trouble. So, unlike me, I didn't care if I got in trouble. I was just scared, you know. I didn't want to be in a predicament where I was getting pushed everywhere and forced to do things. So, you know, it started after, like, I left. I didn't leave. It started after she left, you know. You know, that next day she left. Well, that same day, she actually got up and she stormed up the stairs to her room and she slammed the door. And she told us to close our room door and lock it. And that's what we did. So, you know, I was like, okay, well, Mom's angry and stuff like that. So she came in her room and she talked to us and she was like, you know, everything is going to be okay. Nobody can put their hands on you but me, you know. I'm the one who birthed you. I'm the one who pushed you out. So no one can put their hands on you but me. And I was like, okay, Mama. So, you know, not knowing that me and my sister, we were like smart as hell though. Like, my mom was buying so much food and snacks, bro. We was taking the food and snacks out of the refrigerator, bringing them upstairs to our room and hiding them under our bed for us to snack on in the middle of the night when we got hungry. It was so hilarious because my mom was like, one day we was eating and my mom was like, well, I know I just brought a 12-pack of soda somewhere and a 12-pack of juice, and how is it going that fast? And me and my sister be like, and turn back and eat our foods, act like we didn't know nothing, you know? So, you know, one day, as we were sleeping, our mom went up to our room and was cleaning our rooms out. And she was like, so that's where all the food and stuff been going at. Y'all been hiding it up here like little rats eating in y'all room. She found like cookie wrappers and soda bottles and juice bottles and, you know, Oreos and, you know, milk cartons and food from school. Like, we were like skinny kids, but we were managing like eating a lot of like crap and shit like that, you know. And sorry to excuse my language, but I mean, it was true. Like, we were eating so much and we were just small kids. We weren't even that big. So, you know, she finally caught us. We didn't get in trouble for it. She just laughed and she was like, these kids are so smart. Like, how can they know to take food upstairs to their room and hide it under their beds and stuff like that? but she didn't know because it was like far back under the bed. So she had to like move the bed to sleep behind it, or she'd either have to crawl up under the bed to get the things that she needed. Well, that next morning, it became a Sunday, and you know, we didn't go to church. I think we stayed home and stuff like that. We never really celebrated the church, you know. So I really didn't know anything about God, you know. I didn't know believing about God or nothing like that. So that Sunday, you know, my sister was like singing, and my mom was like, oh my gosh, she won't shut up, she won't stop singing. And you know, I was, on the other hand, I was the creative one. You know, I like going around messing up things and putting them back together like puzzles. So, you know, I didn't remember this, but my mom told me this recently when I went. She was like, did you know that when you were 4 years old, you took a whole refrigerator apart, you took the hinges off, you took everything off the refrigerator, you put the hinges back on, and you put the refrigerator back together? Like, she was like literally so serious. And I was like, Mom, did I do that? She was like, yeah. Like, you would sit down on the floor and you literally take the whole refrigerator apart. You take the top part, the bottom first, and you have the pieces so organized. I have the little hinge pieces right here stacked up nicely in one pile, and the little screwdrivers and the screws all up in this pile right here, and the refrigerator door, and on top of it, the door right here. And then I put it back in on the same order that I got it off from. I was like, Mom. She was like, how can a 4-year-old manage to do that? I've never met a 4-year-old that could take a whole refrigerator apart and put it back together. I was like, I never knew that either. You know, shoot, I never knew I could do that. You know, well, it made me excited for her telling me. So, but anyways, I already knew I could do it because I remember it when I was little. I remember taking the refrigerator apart and putting it back on. So, you know, we didn't know our mother was pregnant at the time, you know. She was carrying my brother. This was in 2003, and she had a baby brother, you know, or I think what she did was she kept him away from us from all, because he was on my daddy's side. When my dad lost his house, my stepdad lost his house, my mom started, you know, letting him stay over there. She brought our brothers over. We was in our room, my brother used to come in the room all the time, and we were like 5 and 6, and he was like 1 and 2, and he's always hits us in the head with his toys, like non-stop. Boop, boop, chopped me and my sister in the head for no apparent reason. And you know, we were always crying crap like that. We go and run and tell our mom, and she's like, if y'all don't learn how to stand up and fight for yourselves, I'm gonna start beating y'all behinds afterwards. So we were scared, so we looked at ourselves, we was like, oh, we better do it. So then, you know, we started actually standing up for ourselves. You know, our brother hit us in the head with a toy, we hit us behind back. You ain't about to hit us like that no more. We gotta get in trouble. We ain't about to hit us like that no more. So, you know, this all happened on that Sunday. So, you know, that later on that day and that Sunday, you know, we were sitting down at a table, and my brother came down and he was talking to me, and he was like, I really couldn't understand what his word he was saying, but I felt like I was understanding basically what he was saying. And he was like, well, he was saying, mama, dada, fight. You know, that's all he could say, mama, dada, fight. And me being his bigger sister, I could understand that he was trying to say, mom and dad is always fighting, you know. Why are they always fighting? Because at the time, my mom and my dad was arguing and stuff. My brother came downstairs and he sat at the table, and I was eating pizza. I had just woke up, I just took my shower, and I had just went to sleep. So I had just woke up, came back downstairs, you know, ate some pizza. My brother came to the table and sat down, and that was the first 4 words he said, mama, dada, fight. And I was like, okay, I understood, you know. He's only 2 years old, so he's like learning how to still talk, you know. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, baby brother, it's gonna be okay, you know. It's gonna get better for us soon, you know. So, you know, I told him it was gonna get better, you know. After a while, my dad came downstairs, you know, came downstairs, watched TV. I was still in the kitchen. I was so terrified of him still. You know, this is the same dude. He's big and scary. Like, he was like a house. Like, he was fat. Like, he could sit on you and smush you. And I was so terrified because I thought he was literally going to smush me. Imagine a baby being this tall and a giant being that freaking huge, almost, well, that freaking huge, and it's huge, it's big all around, and just, it was scary. Like, jeez, I felt like I was gonna get crushed. Like, I didn't know what to do. So, okay, so I'd say it was like late at night. Mom already had put us to bed and stuff like that. So I said it was about like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning. You know, me and my sister were woken up by a loud ruckus in the middle of the night. Me and my sister go downstairs to turns to find out my mom and dad are fighting. And I hear kitchen plates flying across the table, breaking, and I hear cups flying across the table, breaking. And me and my sister were like sitting there, like looking at like down the stairs, like, what's going on? Like, are we gonna get hit? But like, you couldn't really see into the kitchen because there was like a long hallway halfway in the kitchen where we kept all our toys and our clothes at. And then there was a bathroom right here, but this was our living room. Our TV was over there, the couch was right there, and the door was right here where we could walk out, and that was the upstairs. And then right there was my brother's room, and then right beside my brother's room was my room, and then the bathroom right there, and it connected to my mom's room. My mom's room was directly in the middle between, but it was on the other side. But it was on the other side, and it was directly in the middle between my room and my brother's room. So if something went on, it was like a triangle. I could run here to there, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. You know, that was something went on. So that's what happened. So we went downstairs and we went in the kitchen. You know, I was holding my little sister's hand, holding my little brother's hand. You know, I was holding their hands because I was the big sister. You know, my sister was 4 at the time. I was 6. My brother was 3. So it was 3, 4, and 6. Well, he was 2 at the time. 2, 4, and 6. So I was holding his hand, and you know, was holding their hands, and I took them downstairs, and I was like, I was the oldest one, so I had to set by an example. I picked my sister up and my brother up, and I held them in my arms, and I was like, it's gonna be okay, because they started crying. They were like, sis, I'm scared, we don't know. I was like, I'm scared too, but you know, I had to be the brave one for them. You know, I had to stand up for what was right. So I went up to the kitchen. My mom has this big bruise on her face. It's like gushing blood. And she's like done kicked my stepdad in his balls. And I just like, I literally looked at both of them. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what was said? What did you say? What did you say? Like, I did not know what to do. So I got nervous. And my stepdad looked at us. And I like jumped back. And like, my mom was like, kids, go back upstairs. You know, it's going to be okay. Go back upstairs. Your mother will be fine. I was like, no, Mom, I'm not going back upstairs, because we as kids, we have to see this. We have not been able to get any sleep in this house at night, because ever since he's came here, he's been causing all this drama. When it was just us 4, it was fine. When it was just us 4, it was fine. Now, what I meant by us 4 was my mama, me, my sister, and my brother, my oldest brother. It was just us 4. My oldest brother was knocked out. He had his own room, had his own music, his own phone, iPhone, so he was knocked out, so he couldn't hear nothing. But, you know, he was my oldest brother, so, you know, as things got, you know, rougher, I was like, Mom, no, that's not fair, you know. My dad started throwing stuff at me, started throwing plates at us, you know. And she was like, stop doing that to my kids. They're innocent. They don't know do nothing. So she picked us up and she put us back in our room. She locked the door and she went back downstairs. And he was like, no, you sit there and you fall for those dumbass kids. They're not going to be anything. You know, they're going to be dummies when they grow up, you know. Not knowing that I was already smart, so, you know, so next morning came, you know, Monday hit. I remember those, you know, little kids remember words. They remember things that you say to them. So he called me dumb. So, you know, I took my punishment for it afterwards, but since my dad had called us dumb, my other dad, my real dad, he was locked up and he was in jail, and he was in jail for something that he didn't do. Okay, my other dad was locked up, but I'll get to that point in a minute. Like, he was just like, you know, did something, but I'll get that to that part in a minute. But next morning Monday came, and, you know, I remembered all those words he said. You're dumb, your kids are never gonna be shit. They're so stupid now as they are. So, you know, I was like, okay, well, I got something for him. So my dad used to drink. He was a drug addict. He liked to drink. he wasn't really a drug addict, but he liked to drink. It was his most important thing, like, in the house. If he didn't have his beer, he was gonna flip the fuck out. If he did not have his alcohol, I'm trying to tell you, you was gonna have hell to pay in that house. Either he had to have his alcohol, or everybody getting the fuck out and y'all sleeping outside tonight. That's how it was. So, he had his beer open, and I didn't know that he had diabetes. You know, I was not aware of that. So what I did was, I took my sisters in the kitchen and I was teaching them. I was like, since he wanted to call us dumb, you know, we gotta do something to get him back. And my sister and my brother looked at each other, was like, I don't want to be a part of this. I was like, well, you don't want to get called dumb all your life, do you? You know, I was like, you know, trying to protect them. So what we did was, we took a whole sugar jar, and we took like big cooking spoons of sugar, and we put it in his beer bottle. Like, we kept like putting it in there, and like non-stop putting it in there, and we mixed it up. But my dad was so drunk, he didn't even taste the sugar. So then we like started putting like, we put on top of the sugar, we put like a little bit of bleach and like just detergent and crap like that. Well, about an hour later, he's like out on the couch, and like he's like shaking, like non-stop shaking. And like, I wanted to laugh at it, but I was scared. And I had told my mom, we had told all three of us actually, I told my mom that we did something wrong, you know. And she was like, kids, what do you do? Like, you know, you could tell me anything. And I was like, well, we kind of put a lot of sugar in Dad's beer, and we put some dish detergent and some bleach inside of it, but we only did like a little bit of it and stuff like that. So, you know, I told her that. She laughed. She laughed so freaking hard. But I was so scared because I actually thought I killed him. By the time he went to the hospital, you know, I made him have to get insulin shots. You know, I had put so much sugar in there. He was diabetic all the way. He was so close on the urge of dying that he had to get insulin shots in his stomach. And the first thing he did was look at me like, what did you do to me? And I was like, I didn't do anything. So I was like, in my head, I was like, that's what you get for calling me dumb. So now you see how smart I am. You know, you see what I can do now. Later on, my mom did punish us. We did, you know, have to stay in our room and couldn't come out for a few days, you know. She didn't shut the door on us and lock us in there, but, you know, she was like, stay in your room, you know. You can't come out for a few days, you know. And she made us write addition problems, you know. Something that was constructive, you know. We couldn't play with our toys. You know, we had 10 minutes of outside time, and that was about it. After that, we had to go back into our room. She wanted us to get some air, you know, be able to breathe, take a breather. And whatever we didn't do in them 10 minutes, it was too bad. We weren't going to do for the rest of the night. So basically, we stay in our room, we eat for breakfast, we go back up to our rooms, we eat for lunch, we go back up to our rooms, we eat for dinner, we go back up to our rooms, we take a shower. Well, before we take a shower, we go back outside for our 10 minutes, you know, and we're like in the middle there, and we, you know, we play tag, we play stuff like that. But as soon as she timed us to exactly 10 minutes, by the time that minute, the foot we step out the door, that counted as that minute. And the time starts now. By the time we get on that 9th minute, she be like, you got 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I be like, wait, what the heck? How is the time up that fast, you know? But, you know, we had that. We go back upstairs, take a shower, boom, in our bed. Next day, same routine. We did that for like 3 days straight, you know? But it was our punishment. Now, my mom didn't want to beat us, you know? And she also didn't want us to look at our room, 4 walls all day. So, you know, she just lashed us for a little punishment. By the time, let's say, the second day came back, she started giving us like one toy to play with. One toy. My sister had one toy, I had one toy, and my brother had one toy. And we sit in that room right there. My brother didn't sleep in the room. He slept in the room, but my brother put him in the timer room, because our room was known as the timer room because it was like big and it was huge. So, you know, she took all our toys in the closet, you know, and, you know, my sister had her Barbie doll. I had my Playhouse Barbie doll set, and my brother had his Avenger, Spider-Man, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what that thing was. But, you know, so we just put our minds together, being creative, you know. Her Barbie doll was the mom. My brother's toy was the dad, you know, and I was a kid. And, you know, we play with our toys and we pretend like we mom and dad telling us, you know, what to do. So, later on that Monday, after he had went to the hospital and got his outburst and we were on a punishment and stuff like that, you know, life got very agitating, you know. It was to the point where, you know, they were still arguing constantly, nonstop, and it was an ongoing process, and it was like, it was never like, I don't get it, like, it was never like a day where I could sleep in my own house and feel safe with me sleeping in my own house, you know. And no child should have to feel that, you know. So when we didn't have no water, the only water we could rely on was the toilet bowl water, you know. It was clean, we didn't pee in it, you know, but we used to take out cups, go to the toilet, get our water, and drink that from the toilet, you know. I feel embarrassed, I feel embarrassed telling that part, but, you know, as little kids, we didn't have anything to drink, so we had to find something to drink, you know. We couldn't go to different houses and be like, hey, can we get something to drink? That wasn't in our mom's culture, because my mom would be like, you can't drink from them people. You don't know what these people putting in your drinks and stuff like that. You don't know what these people doing to you. So you're not going to drink from anybody. And if I catch you drinking from anybody, your lips are going to get chopped off. I was like, oh, shoot, I don't want my lips to get chopped off. So I started drinking in the house, you know. I, you know, drank the toilet. But little did I know, as I was growing up, I didn't know that toilet bowl water was the actually most healthiest water on earth. It is. It's the most healthiest, filtered water ever on earth, because it's clean. It's, you know, it's just clean water. But, you know, I used to get my cups and I used to drink water from the toilet bowl and spit it back in my sisters and brothers' mouth so they can have something to drink. You know, when we take a crap, you know, we had to clean our butts with our rags because we didn't have any tissue. So myself, you know, my mom wasn't looking. I went out, snuck out a few nights, you know. I wasn't supposed to. I went to neighbors' houses and I was asking for stuff that we need, you know. I stole, I know I wasn't supposed to, but, you know, the neighbors left, and they were good friends with my mom and stuff like that. And they didn't even know, like, they didn't even tell my mom, you know, that I was going over there. So I was stealing like $2 and $3 from my neighbors just to get us the things that we needed, you know. Because back then, you can get like a toilet tissue for like 10 cents. Or like a piece of $50 papers for like 25 cents, you know. Everything was like really cheap back then. So, you know, I got like $3. And what the first thing I went to do is I went to like different people's houses in the neighborhood, even though I wasn't supposed to. I got 10 cents for a bag of chips. Or I got 10 cents for 2 hot dogs. Or I got 10 cents for a roll of toilet paper. You know, what will you be willing to give me for 10 cents? You know, not knowing that I could get a whole lot of shit for 10 cents. You know, I didn't know that. So, you know, the man, Mexican man, you know, he been in there for a while. So he gave me toilet tissue for 10 cents. He gave me hot dogs, hot dog buns, hamburger patties, hamburger buns, sloppy joes, you know. It was like everything that rounded up to $1. I took it back home and stuck it home at night time. I took it back to my mom, you know. I basically spent my whole, I left $1 more, but I spent my whole second dollar on like drinks, like getting us sodas and, you know, juices and stuff like that. And I brought it back to the house, closed the door and locked it, and put it in the refrigerator. You know, next morning I wake up, mom go downstairs. Wow, who restocked the kitchen? Like, who brought all this food and stuff like that? And she'd ask my dad, and my dad'd be like, nah, you know I haven't had any money. And she's like, well, who is coming in our house putting this food in? And I didn't want to tell her, you know. I knew she kind of had some idea of what was going on, but I still wasn't going to tell her, you know. I still wasn't going to tell her that, Mom, I went to go rob our neighbors for $3 just to get us what we needed, you know. Because, you know, back then you couldn't really do that, you know. You get in trouble for it. Your mom didn't trust the neighbors. She didn't really know the neighbors like that, but they were good friends. But, you know, we couldn't take nothing from them because it wasn't in our heritage to do that. So I did it anyways to help us survive. And, you know, my sister and my brother was like, ooh, they're going to tell mom. They're going to tell mom. Well, I had to bribe them with something, you know. I was stealing honey buns from out the kitchen just to be like, if you're going to tell mom, I'm not going to give you the honey bun. Or if you're going to tell dad, I'm not going to give you the honey bun. Boy, next time they say, I say, you want a honey bun? I was like, yeah. They ain't never mentioned not one thing to my mama about me bringing that food. Not one thing. Because they know I was going to give them something afterwards. And it was like shit, if you don't give me nothing, I'm gonna tell mama. Like, you know how people be like, well, shit, if I can't have nothing, nobody else ain't gonna have nothing. And you showing favoritism, right? So I gave them something. I started stealing shit for them, you know. I started stealing food for them to bring us in, even though we didn't have enough, you know. So, you know, then like, this came Tuesday night, you know. Tuesday night was like really, it was really sad because it was frustrating because my mom and my dad, my mom was off for work late. She was late off for work. We had just got home from school. Actually, I don't think we went to school that week because I think it was like a teacher's work day that week. So I don't think we had school that whole week. Like, so we was off Monday. Like, we was going like to school Saturdays and Sundays. So it was like we were going 7 days a week. And it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was like we never had a break. So, you know, I knew my teachers cut off Saturdays and Sundays for us when we were younger. Like government, I guess they changed it. Saturdays and Sundays are when they get a weekend off. Because you back then in the days, you could go to school 7 days a week. There was no doubt. 7 days a week. And boy, I tell you, it was crazy. But, you know, she had went to work. And it was late that night. And, you know, she left me home with my stepdad once again, you know. We were like begging her, don't go, you know. It was his turn, obviously, when she left. So, you know, she left, you know, we were still home. And my dad, you know, he was always picking me to pick on. Well, he took me in the bathroom and he put my hands in boiling hot water, like so hot, like the skin was like coming off, like disintegrating off my hand because my hands were so small and I was just a kid and I was only 4 years old when this was happening. Burned my hands in boiling hot water. And my mom came home and I was hiding my hands, you know, I had my gloves on all the time, hiding my hands. And my mom's like, she was like sitting at the table and I didn't know it. Like, I was eating my behind off, like I was eating non-stop. I didn't know she was looking at me. She had her hands like this the whole time. And she just stopped and she was like, you know what, everybody stop. Oh, everybody stopped eating. My brother stopped eating. My dad stopped eating. Me stopped eating. Everybody stopped eating. And she was like, you, what happened to your hands? Why you have on those gloves? And I didn't tell her, so she took off the gloves and she started burnt marks on my hand. And she was like, what have you done to my child? Like, why have you burnt? Because a 4-year-old is not going to just go upstairs and put her hands in boiling hot water, you know? 4-year-olds, you ask them to go run the water, they're gonna run cold ass water, or they're gonna run some warm water, you know, something that they can play in and they can get in and it's not gonna burn them too much, you know. So, you know, most 4-year-olds, they be like, you go take a shower. No, I don't want to go take a shower. But us, we love taking a shower. I'm talking about a shower was like, whew, like good, like it was like we enjoyed taking a shower, even though we had to wash all together. You know, not my mom, not my dad. It was just me and my siblings. We had to wash all together. I had to wash them first. I had to bathe my sister first, and then I had to bathe my brother next, and then I had to bathe myself last. So I was basically the most important person. You know, I was helping them put on their clothes. I had to put on my sisters. You know, they didn't know it. I was the old one. I was 6 years old, and I was doing all this work when I was little. So my mom kind of figured out. She was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. Kids, go upstairs to your room, take your food with you. You know, we took our food with us. By the time we got halfway upstairs, you could hear plates flying again, cups flying, breaking, glass every freaking where. We come downstairs and mom and dad's arguing again, and it's like, it's ridiculous. So my mom started like losing trust, but she still keep leaving us home. So after the fact she left us home, he got worse. He started beating us with extension cords, wires, hangers, anything that he could get us with. And we were left with bruises on us, you know, we were left with scars on us, and it was mostly me because I was defending my sisters and defending my brothers, and I was not going to allow them to do that. So I went to school on that Wednesday, and you know, no, I didn't went to school on that Wednesday. It was the week after I had I had woke up on a Wednesday because I had like it was like we were doing like a little after school program, you know, so that's what we was doing. And so I went to school at the after school program, but it was like all we did was like stay for fields day, you know, do extracurricular activities, eat stuff, do relay races, or you know whatever those things called, you know, play basketball games, hula hoop, you know, do all kinds of fun stuff outside of recess. So, you know, the teachers saw it and they always wondered, but they looked at me and, you know, they was just like, I was like, hee hee, you know. So one day a white boy came up to us. No offense, you know, I love everybody, but you know, I'm just telling you, the white boy came up to us. A little white boy came up to me and my sister, and like we was eating our hot dogs, and he took me and my sister's hot dogs and ate them in front of us. Me and my sister looked at each other and we jumped on this boy and beat the crap out of him. Like, we just beat the living breaks off of him. His mother came on over there and she was like, my mom was like, don't touch my kids. She pulled us off of the white boy and was like, next time you better teach your kid not to take food from black people. I was like, Mom, did you just really say that? And she was like, yeah, that's what happened. He took my kid's food. So what they did was they ended up beating his ass for it. And next time, that'll give you a reason not to touch my kid's food. And I felt bad for it. You know, I really didn't feel bad for it. My sister felt bad for it. You know, because the boy was already having one black eye and cheeks were red and all his face was like scarred up and stuff like that. Because me and my sister had jumped on him. Like, my sister was pulling his leg, I was pulling his arm. So it was like we was torturing this kid. But it was because he took our food, you know. We just didn't do that just for the fun of it. It was because he took our food. So then that's when the lady was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm calling DSS. She called DSS on us. Went to DSS the next day. DSS office the next day. Mama told me to lie about everything. If they ask you about the abuse, tell them no. If they ask you if they want to see any bruises on your legs, tell them no. You know, you have the right to say no. And she was like, you have the right to say no. If they do that, however, you can file them. You can come back and tell me. So when I went to the DSS office, she couldn't be in there. And they took me in the bathroom and they stripped me naked. You know, I had no clue what they were doing. And they took pictures of my body. And they was looking at all the bruises and all the cuts on my legs and all the stuff on my feet. And, you know, I told them, I was like, my mom is not doing it. My daddy is the problem. Could you guys just remove him out of the house? Well, what they did was they took all of us away. You know, they took me, my brother, my big brother, my sister away, and my mom had no kids. So she was crying and she was upset and she was depressed. So we stayed with someone else I stayed with someone else when I was 5. And, you know, the lady's name was Cindy McFadden. And, you know, great parents. She had kids of her own. They were old kids and stuff like that. But while I was staying with her, you know, things were like, you know, I was proud because I was, you know, much more happier and stuff like that. And, you know, I felt sad about it, but, you know, at least I was away from home for a little while and actually got sleep and got done with things and stuff like that. Well, when I was in this lady's house, I was 5 years old, and she was taking me to work with her every day, you know, because I was this precious girl. But, you know, after a while, you know, things started falling apart there. But her oldest son, Desmond, he was about 15. He started sexually raping me. Started touching me, having sexual intercourse with me, and I didn't know anything about this. I was just only 5 years old. So I was like trying to beg for my mom, like, I want my mommy, I want to go home. And he started making threats more. If I told anybody, I was going to get killed, you know. If I told anybody, he was going to take my life and take my siblings' life and da-da-da. Of course, you know, when you tell a little child that, they're going to be scared. They're not going to want to say anything to anybody. You know, so when I called my sister, I had a visitation with my sister, I told my sister, like I said, she's the snitch of the pack. Best believe within like another hour later, my sister's getting sexually assaulted. Da-da-da. She's in this house and she's living with the boy that's sexually assaulting her. Like, blurted it out in front of everybody in the DSS office. I looked at everybody, I was like, I really don't want to claim my sister right now, like, because she's yelling out loud. But, you know, she did the right thing. She stood up and she told, you know. And she felt some type of way about it. And she was like, sister, I love you. And she gave me a hug. And she was like, I love my sister, but I don't want my sister to have to go through these things. So they moved me out of her house. And my mom gained custody back of me when I was 6. By the time I was 6, you know, things got a little bit better at home. After that, I was getting more abused. My mom was drinking more. She drunk herself, you know. She drunk herself so much until she actually started beating us with different things. I know she started beating us with skillets and fry pans and stuff, you know, that would leave bad marks on us. There was times where we were so afraid of our moms and our dad, we went up to our room and closed our door and we jump out the front window and we go outside and have fun. That's what we do. And we do it for a little while. And it was like really, I wouldn't say it was like fun, but it was scary because I had to, our room was like, you know, I'd say our window was high as that tree right there, you know, or no, high as that thing right there, that building right there. Our window was that high. And what I did was, like I said, I was a smart one, a creative one. Well, I tied all my sheets and all my clothes together, you know. I tied my sheets together, tied all my clothes together, tied everything, and I tied it to the foot of the bed. And what I did was I threw it out the window, like really far, really far. And I told my sisters and brothers, climb down. I said, let me go. Well, I said, you go first. Because they're scared. They're scared. So I said, you go first. I'm right behind you. So, you know, they climbed down. They was holding on, you know. By the time they got to the end of the sheet, they just jumped out. Because there was like right here. So the ground was right there. So they just pooped down. Sister went next and I went last. I locked the door. Mom came knocking on the door. You know, she saw the sheet tied up. She came outside and yelled at us. And I was like, we were scared, but, you know, I was smart. I was trying to de-escalate the situation. So we got out of the house for a little bit, you know. When we got back into the house, well, she made us take a hot shower and she beat us in the shower naked, like, with a extension cord. And it was harsh. It was, like, good, like, harsh. So, you know, after a while, we went back to school and I asked my teacher, you know, she could see all the bruises and stuff on my necks and my face and stuff like that. And my teacher was like, you know, this is when the smiley face situation happened. Or I think it was after the fact. So, you know, we went back to school and, like, you know, that's when they told my mom, like, she's a good student and stuff like that. It was like, no, y'all haven't seen nothing yet. She's a problem child, da 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 da. Well, one day I got on the bus and someone pissed me off. And I was in my seat minding my own business, you know. Kids can't stand being bullied, you know. I couldn't stand being bullied. That was the biggest pet peeve. There was like this boy, like, I don't know where he was from. He was mocking me. And I was like, don't fucking mock me. Like, I didn't mean to say a curse word, but I was young and I was like, please don't freaking mock me. Like, please. I said it like a white girl. Like, see, I love white kids. So it's hilarious. I said it like that, though. I was like, don't fucking mock me, dude. Like, I will beat your ass. And I said it. And he was like, oh, you sound white. Don't fucking mock me, dude, or I'll beat your ass. And he kept doing it. He kept saying it over and over again until I was kids. So I jumped off the seat. I went to his seat. I was like, do it one more time. One more time. He's like, what are you going to do about it? I had two pieces ass. And then I jumped on top of him. And I dragged him up to the front of the bus. And I told the bus driver, I said, this kid is bothering me. If you don't do something about it, I'm going to do something about it. And I dragged the kid up to the front of the bus. And my bus driver, like, got off the bus and she was like, no, Miss Sutton, stop. And I had dragged him down the stairs of the bus. I was like, no, because he's bullying me and you're not going to do anything about it. So I dragged him into his driveway and I told the teacher to get back on the bus and drive off. That's what she did. She took me back on the bus, got in my seat. I dropped him off in his own driveway. Like when she was pulling up to his house, I dragged him off the bus and I put him in his driveway of his house. And I said, next time if you mock me, it's going to be worse. So I put him in his driveway. I got back on the bus. I got home. My teacher had my mom wasn't home. I was so glad she wasn't because, you know, I was going to get in trouble for doing that. But, you know, she wasn't home. So I went to my cousin's house. You know, Brittany and Brittany and her cousin. But I only knew my cousin Brittany Allen. So I went to her house and stuff like that. And, you know, I went to her house and Mom wasn't there. And she was like, well, do you want to come to my house? And I was like, well, I don't want to get in trouble from my mom. And I was like, maybe, and stuff like that. And I kept telling her I didn't want to get in trouble from my mom, so I didn't go to the house. I really did, and I refused to go to the house. And you know, so my cousin dragged me to the house, and mom went bonkers looking for me all over. She thought I was like kidnapped or something. So she went on every person's door that she knew and knocked and was like, have you seen this kid? Have you seen the daughter? Da, da, da. So she hasn't seen the daughter. She hasn't seen me. So she finally got to my cousin's house, knocked on the door, opened up, and she came back up and got me out there and was like, oh, so you mean to tell me that you were at this house all alone and you didn't tell me that you were there? I was like, well, mama, I didn't know where else to go. I got in trouble for it. She was like, I done told you about going with people that I don't really trust that much. I didn't tell you about this, and you just don't listen. So maybe she took me in the house and I got the worst ass whooping of my life. I got beat so freaking bad. I was like, literally, I shit up myself. I shit up my Pampers so bad because they had like literally hog tied my ass. I held my hands up because it was hurting so bad. I held my hands up against my butt, and they held my hands behind my back and just started beating my butt. And I started like putting my feet up, so they held my feet too. Like he sat on my feet as they were cutting my butt, and it was like butt naked, and I was like, it was like hurting, so I was trying to stop them. And I was like, and that's when I got worse beating. So went back to school. Teacher started noticing the bruises. Talked to me. I told everything. I was so stressed out, so sad, so scared. I told everything. And I was like, I go home every day and I get abused. And I get beat up and I get called different names. I'm tired of it. I don't know what to do. I don't want to have to tell my mom like that. I didn't want to have to. But you know, it's sometimes as kids, you know, you got to. In order to get out of a situation that you don't want to be in, you got to tell. So I told every single thing. From beginning to end, I told everything from the time I was born, from my sisters, everything I was doing. I told. Her ex got TPR this time for good. 6 years old, TPR for good. I went back to that same mom, that same foster parent whose daughter had told you that I was being, who my sister had told out loud that I was being raped. I went back to her again. Well, this time I was 6 years old, and well, no, I was 8 years old, right? I think I said 6 later on in the story or something. I think it might be 8. I don't know. I think it was 8 this time. Well, 6 or 7, around that range. Okay. Well, let's jump to 8 years old. Okay. Let's just jump to 8. Okay. This is a long story. Here's more of like the sad parts. Okay. When I was 8, I went to a lady named Concetta Washington, and I was always getting abused because I was acting up in school, and I was a problem child, and I was being bad, and I was, it was just there and there, just ill. Well, just kidding, but I was 8 years old, and I was with the same lady I told you before that my sister had told I did snitch on and stuff like that. Well, I went back to her and I started getting more sexually abused, and then her son started beating me and stuff like that. And one day she came and called me in a room and told me to down my pants, and I was scared, and I down my pants, and she saw the bruises. She went in and she beat his ass. I made him go sit down on the porch butt naked in front of all his friends. Like, I'm talking about, he ain't had no drawers, no shirt. He was butt naked, wrapped up in the cover with his penis out. It was a little teeny tiny thing about this big. Little. And when it got hard, it was about this big. Literally about this big, about this skinny. So you call yourself raping a girl, and you gotta sit out on the porch and show everybody how small your penis is. So that's what it is. So I really didn't worry about it. But then after the fact, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I told her about it. They took me away from her. I went to a lady when I was 9 years old, and I got the same kind of thing. I didn't get raped, but there was a 55-year-old man who kind of like liked me and was like showing me his penis and stuff like that. I was like trying to get with me, but or before that, you know, she was abusing me. Like, it was like for every little thing, like she made me write a sentences 1,000 times. I will not steal anymore. Like, literally took all my paperwork and all my days 1,000 times, and she saved it in the drawer, and she told me, every time you steal, I'm gonna make you write at least 100 times. I was like, dang. So I wrote, and I was, you know, done. My hands was hurting. I was done. I was an AB honor roll student. By the time I was 8, I was in 5th grade. You know, I was, you know, I was on it. I was just on it. Like, oh, I was on it. I was like smart as hell. They said 8-year-old in 5th grade. I had never heard of that before. But yeah, I was in 5th grade. You know, usually 8-year-olds be in 1st and 2nd grade, but I was 8 and I was in 5th grade. You know, so, you know, after that, they took me away from her. Well, by the time I turned 9, well, I was 8 and 9 when I stayed with her. But, like, when I turned 9, I went to somebody else's house for, like 3 weeks. And, stuff like that. So, back then, you know, you couldn't tell females nothing. You know, I was only 9 years old. I was only 9 years old, and, I had turned 10, actually. I had turned 10 before I left. But I was only 10 years old, and I told everybody I had 4 boyfriends in school. Well, you know, when you're little, you don't think about that. So there, I remember the names: Jadakiss, Corey, Isaiah, and Dale, Corey Franklin. I think it was Isaiah Washington, and, you know, I was like, I had 4 boyfriends, and, you know, I couldn't pick, so they were all cute, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're all cute. So by the time that happened, I left. I was, you know, I told the lady if she ever tried to leave me, I was going to tie her to the bed and set the house on fire. And that's when they told me I had to go to a mental hospital, a mental house. I went to a mental house from by the time I was 10 up until I was 13. And I stayed in Palmetto Low Country Behavioral Health Center until I was 13. After that, I left. My caseworker told me that if I didn't get my shit together, I was going to a patient residential treatment facility. Well, sure enough, I thought she was lying. 13 hit, I went to Venice Patient Residential Treatment Facility. It's in Greenville. I went from skinny, from 98 pounds, to fat, 173 pounds, okay? I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you do that? I left there when I was 13 too. I stayed there for like almost a year. I left there because I completed the whole treatment, and I went home to a lady named Paulette Cecilia Drummond, and you know, I had to use stuff as a stress reliever, you know, because I was so stressed out and everything. I ended up at every foster home. So, you know, it was a Mexican girl, no, a Hispanic girl, and I give you right, she could fight. I don't know who taught her how to fight. She could fight. That girl was like mixed martial arts. Well, I know I had broke my arm because I fell off the monkey bars. I had broke this hand right here, this part, and I had to get it on black. I had a black cast on. So, well, I had, you know, she had told me one day to go fuck off, you know. I was like, she was like, why don't you just go kill yourself? Nobody wants you here anyways. I looked at her, I said, bitch, you talking to me? Kill myself? I didn't kill myself, I'm gonna kill you. So I went into the back room and I beat the crap out of her. Like, I really did. Like, I didn't attack her. I said, let's go. And she was like, oh, so you want to really challenge me? I was 14 and she was 15. She was like, you really? I was like, yeah, I want to challenge you. And literally, I ain't gonna lie, I beat the crap out of her with one cast bone. Like, I don't know how I did it. And she even admitted, she was like, dang, girl, where'd you get your hands? I was like, I don't know. I just, you know, I've had so much fights in my life, you know. I just held on to so much anger and I just let it out on one person, you know. It's a difference between someone who knows martial arts and someone who has a lot of anger in, you know. If you know martial arts, you know, you can fight. But if it's if it's a person who has anger, a lot of anger issues, and, you know, is angry and has held up so much stuff in their life, obviously they're gonna be very violent. They're gonna like kill you, try to at least. You gotta try to figure out something. So it was okay. I was good with that, and I really didn't worry about it. But, you know, so I was there, and then after that I left. I went to Aurora Pavilion. And I went there for 7 days, and then after I came from Aurora Pavilion, I went there because I think I was being bad. After I came from Aurora Pavilion, I went from it was a lot of them. So it was like Aurora Pavilion, William S. Hall, let's see, Pinelands Group Home. It was so much of them. Like it's so much of them that I can't even like count off the back of my hand. Hope, Safe Hope, or something like that. Lighthouse and Conway Medical Center, Behavioral Health Center. I went to so much group homes and stuff like that. DSS just got tired of me. By the time I turned 18, it was like, get out. We don't want her. I would have kicked myself out, but they had me in another foster home. I was just like, I'm not gonna worry about it. But DSS just kicked me out and allowed me to be homeless on the streets. Now I'm pregnant and I'm 19 and I'm homeless and I have nothing. My boyfriend doesn't even be here most of the time, and it's just like it's just nothing is the same no more. I'm outside every day. I gotta sleep out on park benches. I gotta sleep in parks and stuff like that. I gotta go to different restaurants to use the bathroom. I gotta go to this place and that place and that place and that place. It's difficult. It's like you don't know what it's like to be out here on the streets and have to fret for your life. You can't go to sleep nowhere. You gotta be aware who you close your eyes around day. You gotta find sleeping spots. Go hide in the garage or something, go to sleep. Somewhere some people don't be. That's where most of the stuff be. Like, that's where I go and sleep at. I go and sleep in garages at night. I like to understand what's going on in other people's shoes. And I can't tell this story because I feel like people need to know. But, that's how basically my life went. That's how it went. Basically.